buckle up, because we're merging back into traffic on Radio Nemo's Nemo Nation.
Air Freight Traffic Association, better known as NMFTA, is going to be joining us here in just a few moments. And as I mentioned earlier, we're going to kind of get a little sneak preview into the 2026 Cybersecurity Trends Report. Speaking of trends, though, Christmas holiday shopping is trending up pretty well. The NRF, the National Retail Federation, says that when it comes to the Christmas shopping season, it runs from November 1st through December 31st, not 24th, but December 31st, okay? My birthday's still in there, guys. Just kidding. No, I mean, it is, but I'm kidding. You know what I mean. They say that this year, the holiday spending, November 1 through December 31, is going to go over $1 trillion for the first time. They figure that the growth is going to run anywhere from 3.7% to 4.2% over what we did last year, the 2024. In terms of numbers of people, and we're talking about people going to shop, not online, but in the stores, that was up. Last year, they figured about 197 million shoppers were out there, and that blew away the previous record. This year, they figure it's going to be up from 197 to 203, 202.9. Let's just say 203 and keep it simple. 203 this year. And that's just the holiday weekend from Thanksgiving through Cyber Monday. That's not the whole season. That's just the holiday, the 5 days between Thanksgiving and Cyber Monday. So there's that. So those are big things, and we get even bigger things to talk about with Ben Wilkens, as always. Good morning, Ben.
Good morning, Dave. How are you?
Doing fantastic on this Monday the 8th. You know, today is the anniversary of our entry into World War II.
A long time ago. It seems like we kind of lose touch with those years more and more each year that goes by. But I think it's important that we remember that period of time and kind of the lessons learned from all that.
I knew a young lady who used to work for us, and she made note of the fact that I always made a big deal about D-Day, June 6th, and she wanted to know if that was because I was there. I was old, but I ain't that old. I'm just old school, so even the school wasn't there. Oh, goodness gracious. Well, speaking of moving ahead, it's kind of strange. I think that the notes that you sent down about the 2026 Cybersecurity Trends Report was the first time that I saw 2026 typed into something for the show. You know what I mean? Like, here we go. We're ready to move in. Yeah.
It's coming, man. It's coming right around the corner. This year seems like it's been accelerating. Every month seems shorter. I don't know what's going on.
Yes, and I think November is going to be my invisible month. I don't even think in November it really happened.
Yeah, likewise. It's I blinked, it was September, and I blinked, it was December. So something strange happened this fall. Twilight Zone.
It used to be an old man. I thought I'd get this way when I was old, but you young guys are doing this, and kids are doing the same. It's crazy. But at any rate, enough of that. I didn't walk through the list, but I did say there were 5 things on the list. The must-have cybersecurity best practices list. Now, the trends report is going to be coming out, and you're not at liberty to dig into details, and we won't do that now anyway. But I thought there was one word in the first point, and the word is human. Strengthening human-centered defenses. Wow. Talk about getting back to square one, back to basics, huh?
Well, it's interesting, as technology has progressed, and particularly now, we're all probably tired at this point of the AI this, AI that kind of
Yeah,
buzzword
yeah.
thing. But as technology continues to progress, we realize that it isn't changing the fact that the human element is both the number one defense and the number one weak point in any environment. And so one of the things that throughout our trends report this year, we remarked on as a team is how each one of the trends that we identified and were tracking and looking at moving into 2026, every single one of those could be positively impacted if we strengthen the human-centered side of the defensive cybersecurity operations. Whether that's a training, whether it's a behavioral change or an awareness change in the team, it always comes back to, in some way or another, humans changing their level of awareness, changing the way they behave, lessening their likelihood to be weaponized by the bad actors against their own organization, willingly or unwillingly, wittingly or unwittingly.
There was an adage in World War II, going back again to D-Day, but loose lips sink ships. And of course, that's nothing new, even in the 1940s. I think that goes back through human history. But we've never been confronted with artificial entities that compete with us and compete with us on a playing field, in a sense, in terms of and sometimes a deadly game. So we're up against forces that we've never really been up against. I mean, yeah, they say AI is not going to take somebody's job. Somebody who knows how to use AI is going to take your job. Well, yeah, but the whole AI thing does have a life of its own too, and we kind of tend to let it be, and then we kind of succumb to the trickery that can happen simply because we just weren't being human enough, I guess, right?
Yeah, I think when I think about the way AI is impacting that, I joke that if you have bad processes, AI can just do your bad processes faster than you can.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out is what they said in the 80s.
Exactly. That's never changed with any technology. But I think the thing that's different about AI is obviously the sophistication and the fact that we cognitively, humans haven't really caught on to the fact that we cannot trust what we see and hear in what have historically been reliable venues, like a video call with someone or a phone call with someone whose voice we know well. Even those kinds of things are now attack vectors from a cybersecurity perspective, with deep fake videos and spoofed voices and those types of things. And so it's so funny, we're going back to some really old school techniques, secret code words that are shared between people, that if you call me, Dave, and you say, hey, I need you to send me $1,000 in Apple gift cards, as much as I'd love to do that, I'd say, well, Dave, what's our code word? And if you don't know that, then there's a pretty good odds that you're not really Dave, right? And so we're seeing some of those old school human to human things really being effective,
Ben,
against AI.
Excuse me, Ben, just one moment. Andre, Ben's not going to send the credit cards, so forget it. Okay. Yeah, really.
I know. I hate
but that's a joke, but it ain't funny. It ain't funny because somebody somewhere is doing it right now.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
One of the other things, too, kind of going down the list, hardening identity and access controls. Okay, so you go into your medical records at the doctor's office, or I'm with Humana, Medicare. So you go in there, and now they want to send you a text to make sure it's you, and you got to click the box to prove you're human. How many pictures have a bridge in it? All that kind of stuff. Is that that is hardening, correct?
Yeah, so that's definitely a piece of this, right?
Okay.
So that's confirming your identity is, that you are actually who you claim to be. That's the authentication portion, the multi-factor and all of that stuff. But there's another layer, and that's what can you do once you have accessed the system? What data can you access? We need to make sure that we're using, we call it role-based access control and attribute access control. So it's, who are you? What is your role in the organization? And is your access, once you've proven who you are, appropriately scoped to what you should be doing, in line with your job duties? And we see that that's, kind of, sometimes we take the easy road where we're not really sure if you should or shouldn't have it. So we err on the side of make life easier and give you access to it. That gets people in trouble all the time. If you have more access to more data than you need, or more access to more systems than you need, or the ability to change settings, or, you name it, that can lead to problems, especially if your account gets compromised.
On a very small, non-threatening, non-criminal way, we fall into that right here at Radio Nemo. And what I mean by that is we live by a calendar. It's a Google Calendar, and Claire Marie, and only Claire Marie, can touch it, because as soon as somebody else gets a hold of the calendar, it goes haywire. And there are several other factors, like Tara does breaker back talk every Monday morning, and she had notes. She put them in a document. I didn't have permission to open the document. She had to give me that permission. So we actually we're actually following a lot of that stuff. But in terms of my operation, it's more of for me, it's an aggravation, not a security thing. Now,
Yep.
So is there a disappearing line between what is really necessarily secure and what can just be aggravating?
Well, so it's interesting. In security, we have what's called the CIA triad, and that's not CIA as in, spooks and spies. That's so C is confidentiality, where the I is integrity, and the A is access. So any one of those things can be compromised by a malicious actor, by a bad actor. But it can also be, like you said, maybe somebody in the organization edits something that they shouldn't have. Those things can be across. It can be irritation, or it can be security, but there are similar methods prevent both.
Well, I'll tell you what, we are just about out of time here, Ben, and obviously we could go on, and hopefully we will, because we got to get you back, man.
Well, you know where to find me. Always happy to join.
Yes, he hasn't blocked us yet. We know where to find him.
Right.
Always so much fun talking to you, Ben. And thank you for sharing stuff in a way that even I can understand, and that means something, man. I can tell you that right now.
I think that's the only way to do it, man.
All right. Take care. Ben Wilkens, everybody.
You too.
He is at the head of the list in the Great Guy Department, and he's also Cybersecurity Principal Engineer at NMFTA, the National Motor Freight Traffic Association. If you ever wind up on the side of the road and you just don't want to be there and your truck don't care, well, the folks at truckdown.com care. So get the app now before you need it. Sometimes when you have something that you're going to need, just because you have it, you'll never need it. Try that on for size. Truckdown.com. TRUCK